The galaxy used to be a quiet place, a vast expanse of stars and nebulae where the hum of civilization echoed in measured, predictable rhythms. For centuries, the Galactic Federation, a coalition of 5 advanced alien races, the elegant, long-lived Zol with their crystalline spires, the logical Vexari whose minds processed data like living supercomputers, the sturdy Grom who built fortresses from asteroid belts, the ethereal Lyrans who communicated through bioluminescent patterns, and the enigmatic Quorath whose technology bent the fabric of reality itself, had ruled the stars with an ironclad bureaucracy. Their laws were absolute, their technology unparalleled, their peace maintained through layers of diplomacy and overwhelming firepower. When humans first arrived from Earth, tumbling out of our primitive warp drives and battered colony ships, we were the new kids on the cosmic block. We weren't the strongest species, our bodies were fragile compared to the armored Grom, and our technology was laughably outdated next to the quantum shields of the Zol. But we had something they lacked in spades: adaptability. Humans could improvise, innovate under pressure, and turn desperation into defiance. We learned their languages in weeks, reverse-engineered their basic tools in months, and integrated into the fringes of their society with a relentless drive that both intrigued and unsettled them. The first contact had been cautious. Earth's explorers, fresh from the Sol System's expansionist era, had broadcast peaceful greetings laced with offers of trade and cultural exchange. The Federation observed us from afar, their probes analyzing our history of wars, innovations, and rapid population growth. They saw potential in our resilience but also a wild card in our unpredictability. For decades, humans were relegated to outer rim colonies, scraping by on marginal worlds while the Federation's core worlds bloomed with eternal prosperity. We built what we could with salvaged tech and human ingenuity: kinetic railguns that punched through holes where energy weapons fizzled, makeshift habitats that withstood solar flares better than expected, and social structures that thrived on merit and chaos rather than rigid hierarchies. The aliens watched, amused at first, then wary as our colonies multiplied faster than their projections allowed. Then came the Void Eaters. They emerged from the galactic rim like a plague from another dimension, a mindless swarm of biomechanical horrors that consumed stars, planets, and entire fleets without mercy or reason. These abominations weren't invaders with demands or treaties, they were pure entropy, devouring energy and matter to fuel their endless replication. The Federation's high-tech shields, designed to repel conventional threats, flickered and failed against the Void Eaters' adaptive corrosion. Their logic-based tactics, reliant on predictive algorithms and overwhelming force, crumbled when faced with an enemy that evolved mid-battle, learning from every defeat. Panic rippled through the council chambers. Home worlds trembled as hive ships blotted out suns. In desperation, the Federation turned to the humans, the species they had long viewed as barbarians. "Help us," the holographic emissaries pleaded during emergency sessions on Earth and our frontier stations. "Fight on the front lines. Your kinetic weapons, your unorthodox strategies, they might succeed where our precision fails. In return, we offer you a permanent seat in the High Council. We will share our energy technology with Earth, granting your people unlimited clean power to fuel your growth. Together, we will save the galaxy." We believed them. Humanity, ever the optimists forged in fire, mobilized like never before. Conscription drives swept across Earth and the colonies. Factories churned out warships retrofitted with human grit, armor plating scavenged from junkyards, weapons that relied on raw physics rather than elegant energy matrices. Soldiers trained in zero-gravity simulators, learning to fight in the cold, dark void where one mistake meant instant death. Families said tearful goodbyes as fleets departed, carrying millions into the unknown. The war lasted 5 grueling years. Human soldiers bled in the vacuum of space, their bodies frozen in shattered suits, their ships torn apart by swarms that adapted to laser fire but buckled under the brute force of our railguns and nuclear-tipped missiles. We tore through the Void Eaters with primitive but effective tactics, ramming maneuvers, boarding actions where Marines fought hand-to-hand against chitinous horrors, and sacrificial strikes that bought time for Federation evacuations. We saved their home worlds. We saved their children. On the plains of Zol Prime, human battalions held the line against a hive incursion that would have glassed the planet that I and the gas giants of Vexry space. Our pilots dove into storms to destroy spawning pods while alien fleets regrouped. Grom fortresses stood because human engineers reinforced them with welded scrap and sheer willpower. Billions of Federation citizens lived because humans died in droves. Millions of lives lost in the cold, dark of space, their names etched on memorials back on Earth that grew longer with each battle report. We adapted faster than the enemy could evolve. Where the Federation saw patterns and retreated, we saw opportunities and charged. Our losses were staggering, but the swarm was pushed back, system by system, till the last Void Eater hive ship fractured under a coordinated assault led by human commanders. The day victory was declared, the galaxy should have celebrated. Instead, betrayal unfolded like a carefully scripted tragedy. I was standing on the bridge of the UEF Retribution, a heavy cruiser that had survived more battles than any ship had a right to. Admiral Marcus Thorne, a man with more scars than medals, his face etched with the lines of command and loss, stared at the view screen. We were expecting parades, honors, the promised seat at the council table. Instead, we saw the Federation fleet, our supposed allies. Surrounding us in a perfect encirclement, thousands of sleek vessels, their hulls gleaming with energy weapons primed, positioned to strike from every angle. The holographic projector flickered to life in the center of the bridge. It was High Counselor Varkas, a spindly blue-skinned alien from the Zol race, his elongated limbs folded with bureaucratic precision, his multifaceted eyes reflecting no emotion. Admiral Thorne, Varkas intoned, his voice cold and robotic, filtered through translators that stripped away any warmth. The war is over. The threat is gone. But we have realized that humanity is too dangerous. You are too violent, too fast, and your population grows too quickly. You are a threat to the stability of this galaxy. Thorne narrowed his eyes, his jaw tightening like a vice. What are you saying, Varkas? We just saved your skins. Millions of my people died for your worlds. We are saying, Varkas replied without hesitation, that your services are no longer required. All human ships must power down their engines and prepare for boarding. Your colonies will be dismantled, and your people will be relocated to a single system under our protection. If you refuse, we will fire the trap. They didn't wait for an answer. Before Thorne could even speak, the Federation fleet opened fire. But they didn't use lasers or plasma bolts. They used ion pulses, tuned specifically to disrupt our systems they had helped repair during the war. The Retribution shuddered violently. All the lights turned red as emergency klaxons wailed. The hum of the engines died in an instant, leaving an eerie silence broken only by the creak of stressed hulls. Status. Thorne yelled, gripping the command console. Engines are dead, sir. Shields at 10%, the comms officer shouted, fingers flying over failing panels. They've sent a virus into our network. They used the repair nanites they gave us last month to sabotage our systems from the inside. They hadn't just attacked us. They had planned this for months, perhaps years. While we were fighting their war on the front lines, bleeding in the void, they were building a cage for us. Across the sector, human fleets reported the same treachery, ships powering down mid-victory formation, colonies bombarded with disabling EMPs, leaders arrested under false pretenses of quarantine. The Federation's gratitude had been a mask for fear. Our adaptability, the very trait that saved them, now branded us as uncontrollable. Our rapid breeding made us a demographic time bomb in their eyes. Our willingness to fight dirty terrified their ordered minds. The betrayal ignited a fire in humanity that the Void Eaters never could. Admiral Thorne stood tall on that darkened bridge, his voice cutting through the chaos. All hands, prepare for counterboarding. We don't surrender what we bled for. Tell the fleet, fight like hell. Earth will hear of this. In the days that followed, the galaxy erupted into a new kind of war. Human survivors scattered, using guerrilla tactics honed against the swarm, hit-and-run strikes, hacked alien tech turned against its makers, alliances with fringe species who resented Federation dominance, colonies that couldn't be dismantled went underground, their populations vanishing into asteroid belts and uncharted moons. Scientists on Earth reverse-engineered the ion pulses, turning the Federation's own technology into weapons of liberation. Stories spread of heroes like Thorn, who led daring escapes from disabled flagships, ramming enemy vessels in final acts of defiance. Others spoke of the millions lost not just to the Void Eaters, but to the betrayal that followed, the families relocated to barren reservations, their children indoctrinated in Federation schools to forget their human fire. Yet humanity endured. We adapted, as we always had. Underground networks formed across the stars, smuggling tech and people, building hidden shipyards where new vessels rose from salvaged wrecks. The Federation, for all its power, found itself stretched thin. Their stable galaxy began to fracture as whispers of the betrayal fueled dissent among their own races, the Zol's crystalline spires echoed with debates, the Vexary's logic circuits overloaded with moral paradoxes. Humans, once the new kids, became the symbol of resistance. A reminder that adaptability could topple even the oldest empires. Years turned into decades in this shadow war. New generations of humans, born in the cold of exile, inherited the scars and the spirit. They developed hybrid technologies, blending kinetic fury with stolen energy matrices. Raids on Federation outposts became legendary, each one chipping away at the Council's authority. High Counselor Varkas, now aging in his extended lifespan, watched as his carefully constructed peace unraveled. The very stability he sought to protect crumbled under the weight of human ingenuity and unyielding will. In the end, the galaxy would never be quiet again. The Federation's betrayal had awakened something primal in humanity, a refusal to be caged, a drive to claim our place among the stars not as servants, but as equals or conquerors. From the bridge of the retribution to the farthest rim, the story echoed, we fought for them, we saved them, and when they turned on us, we rose stronger. The void that once threatened to consume everything now held a new force, humanity, adaptable, relentless, and free.